Billie Starkz, welcome to the show. Run me through your day. How are you doing over there?
I'm doing good so far. I'm in Georgia right now. Just got home from a really crazy week. I've been gone since for like 10 days from my house, so it's nice to be home finally.
What do you miss the most when you're on those long stretches? Because I've been through them and they are rough. You miss your animals, you miss just the normality of things from day to day. So, what do you find you miss the most?
I definitely miss my bed. Sleeping in hotel rooms is nice and all, but being in your own bed is a perfect feeling.
And apparently, because of your age, sometimes they won't even let you check in. So, is that the biggest pain? Oh my God, I can see it all over your face.
I really haven't ran into that problem until last weekend, trying to check into my hotel.
Okay.
And I was like, all good for a second. And they were like, oh, it's company policy. We can't check you in. I was like, I don't have an adult. I don't know what you guys want me to do here.
So, what
But I
did you
ended
end
up
up
figuring it
doing?
out. I called my travel guy, who's Scott. And Scott was like, I'm gonna call the hotel and deal with this. And then he ended up telling them like, oh, she can apply for the military, she could do this, she could vote, but she can't check into the hotel. Come on.
I love it. Well, you had mentioned how things have been very go, go, go. And a part of that is the wrestling aspect, of course. And you recently celebrated your 5 year wrestling anniversary. It was 29 states, 4 countries, and over 400 matches in only 5 years. That's absurd. So, was that a pretty emotional reflection and just overall day for you? Because that's not a small thing.
I just am proud of everything I've done, but there's always more that I want to do. So there's like, oh, I've done this so much so far, but now this is my goal list for this year, and I have like a million things I want to get done.
What's at the top of the list?
Definitely working on the West Coast more. I
Okay.
haven't really got to go out to that scene as much, and I feel like there's a bunch of girls that I haven't worked. And I feel like there's a bunch of first time matchups that are waiting to happen.
That's awesome. Well, something else you've been able to tick off other than all of those big accolades I had just mentioned is signing with a brand. Because signing with a company is pretty much what every wrestler strives for, at least majority of them. And you've now done it. So what was that initial reaction when you firmed everything up, whether it was an email, a phone call, an in-person meeting? Just walk me through that because it must have just been like a floodgate for you.
It was definitely a very chaotic time because I was still in high school while doing the negotiations. And I had a lot on my mind of like, what do I want to do after high school? Do I really want to sign a contract now, or do I wait till I'm done with college? So it was definitely a very hard time for me, like figuring out what I wanted to do. Luckily, I had very supportive parents, and they helped me through a lot of it, and made sure that I had a lawyer to read over everything, so I
Very
understood everything.
important.
But I'm very, very happy with the place I am at now. And I hid it for a while that I did sign a contract. There was a very long time that nobody had any clue, but I was definitely under contract for a minute.
Why was the reasoning that you decided to hide it at first? Was it because of the chaos and you wanting it to kind of sink in, or were there other reasons?
Um, I just felt like I wanted to stay where I was at in wrestling, even though I was
Okay.
progressing faster. I didn't want anybody else to look at me differently.
Oh, I
Being
love that.
contracted at 18, I get that a lot of people were happy and truly happy for my success, but there was a part of me that was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
I love that though. It just shows the humbleness of it because deep down it's a lot. Like I remember my first time signing with a company, I was early 20s, so not quite as young, but still it's a rush of excitement. But at the same time, there is a different glare, there's a different look towards you, and you're like, I'm the same person. It's just now my name's on paper. So I understand
Yes.
that completely. Oh, well, there are a lot of names and phrases associated with one Billie Starkz. There's Space Jesus, Bill I Am, Young William, Gremlin, just to name a few. So, do you happen to have a personal favorite or a really good story behind any of them that you love?
Ooh, so the blue gremlin one came from J Rose, and it was just because of my chaotic personality.
Okay.
And then for a long time, I was just like bullying everybody after a certain point in the wrestling weekend. So they're like, "Oh, you're like a gremlin. We can't give you wrestling after a certain point."
That's so cute. I love that. Oh, well, something that I know happened to you recently was apparently your public speaking professor was coming out to watch you wrestle. So, how did that come about? Were they impressed with your promo skills?
So I just started college, which is a very fun thing for me. And one of the classes I'm taking, my first semester is Com 181, which is just public speech. And my teacher told me during like one of the Zoom calls that we were having that she has never gone to a pro wrestling show after I gave a speech about like pro wrestling. And she was like, I would really like to at some point in Louisville. There's going to be a Dynamite show, so I invited her and got her tickets to the show so she could come and enjoy a wrestling show for once. I was like, everybody has to experience this once. You'll love it.
Mm-hmm. It's the same way with a lot of people I know. At first, they aren't sure what to think of it, and then when you just say it's entertainment, just come. Next thing you know, they're like cheering in the crowd and going wild. So I hope you look out and you see her just having the time of her life when you guys are in Louisville.
I can't wait.
When it comes to being in the ring, you kind of never know who you'll look out and see in the crowd. So, who's one name where it would just blow your mind to wrestle in front of them? It could be an artist, musician, another wrestler you look up to.
Honestly, like Billie Eilish, I feel like she would be such an entertaining person to watch in a crowd, but also,
Yeah.
her music is just very, very influential to me. So I really enjoy her style and everything she has going on.
Okay. And was that one of the reasons you decided to go with the different hair as well? Because I feel like that's for a lot of people the kickoff. It is. Stop it. That's awesome.
I always loved colored hair, and I actually wasn't allowed to dye my hair for a long time. And then my hair all got chopped off when I was little, and my mom was like, "Oh no, what is gonna make you happy?" And I was like, "To dye my hair."
Little silver linings. It may all be chopped off, and then you got to open those floodgates. And I feel like you're going to have the look for quite some time, which is very cool because it is one of the things I associate with you. And something else I associate with you happens to be a fanny pack, as you're a proud fanny pack user, as is a lot of the wrestling community. So, what are some of the essentials you always have to have packed in the pack?
But so my fanny pack kind of has like a system now. The very front
Okay.
pocket is my wallet. The middle pocket is for phone and charger and all of that stuff to keep me together, and I keep gum. And any like miscellaneous things that I need. But everybody likes to make fun of me because I will carry food in my fanny pack. I've literally carried like 4 Taco Bell tacos in my fanny pack. So I'm like,
Stop it. That's impressive.
yeah, I think I could fit a whole 12 pack in there if I tried.
Can you please try that and film it? I would just love to see the effort that goes in and then just munching on everything afterwards.
This is gonna be my Twitter content for the rest of the week is seeing how many tacos I can fit into the fanny pack.
I'm looking out for it now. I'm holding you to it. Well, I always have to end my conversations talking a little bit about music because it's just one of the things I happen to love the most alongside wrestling. So, who are some acts that you have had on heavy rotation as of late?
Ooh, I love the front bottoms.
Okay,
I've been listening to more Suicide Boys recently.
nice.
Um, and then Backstreet Lovers.
Okay, so I've not heard of Backstreet Lovers, but Suicide Boys are so cool, just fusing those two genres that should not meld together. So that's a really cool pick. Was not expecting that one.
I'm definitely over the place when it comes to my music. I just think I found songs that like, oh, I like this or I like this in the moment, and then they all come onto my playlist.
Of course. Well, the last cue of the day would be who's one musician, band, or artist you would love to play your entrance music for you as you walk down that ramp to the ring?
Blink 182 easily.
Amazing. You cannot go wrong with that at all. So good. Well, Billie, I want to say congratulations on everything. Congrats on 5 years. And thank you once again for taking the time to hang out today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, to everyone watching, this has been Billie Starkz. Be sure to check her out on social media and on AEW. And hit up AliciaAtout.com for plenty more exclusive interviews and features. Bye, everybody.